Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Three Ships 12-year-old whisky. I'm Toby and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Three Ships 12-year-old South African whisky. Three Ships is a brand that you may not have heard of if you're from the UK or potentially even Europe. It's a South African whisky brand from the Distell Group and its master distiller is Andy Watts. This Three Ships, which is, as far as I'm aware, exclusive to Europe, is a 12-year-old single malt whisky. It's aged in selected American oak casks and it's presented as non-chill filtered, uncoloured and at 46.3%. It's a whisky that I've been wanting to try ever since I found out about the James Sedgwick distillery and tried their Baines single grain whisky. So, should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. Right, so before I start nosing and tasting this whisky, I'll point out that this retails for £45 in the UK. So, let's move on to the colour. I'd say it's like a nice deep gold. One thing that's interesting about this whisky is the climate of South Africa obviously evaporates the whisky at a decent rate. So being a 12-year-old whisky in that sort of climate, there is a decent amount of angel share that's taken. So let's start with the nose. Right, it's really interesting because my preconceptions of what I thought this might smell like, it's not like that. It's like, the first thing I get is like linseed oil or window putty. But in there I also get like, there's like a wisp of smoke. It's like just a hint. That then turns to charred oak. There's a hint of tropical fruit. There's some vanilla there. And there's even a hint of pepper. Yeah, pepper's not a note I often get on the nose. I often get it on the palate, but not on the nose. Let's try it on the palate. So, the first thing I notice is it's quite viscous. It goes quite oily on the palate. Obviously the fact that it's non-chill filtered helps with that. And then I get like a wood smoke, almost like a burning wood. And then even get like a hint of rubber. It is starting to go sweet now. So let's have another sip and see how that sweetness develops. Yeah, so strong vanilla. There's almost like an oaty note as well, sweet oats, and then that starts to develop into like a tropical fruit. The tropical fruit is more like it's more like mango or papaya. Really is quite nice. And then there's heat that develops. That heat is starting to build. It carries on through the finish. There's quite a lot of dry wood with that finish, but that's yeah, that's not detrimental to the experience. And I'd say it's got like a medium finishing strength. It really does, yeah, it lingers for a reasonable amount of time, and that sweet sort of vanilla carries on with that. And that oatiness almost turns into like almost like a shortbread biscuit that lingers on the tongue. So for me, this is really an interesting dram. It's got flavours that I've picked up on other whiskies, but the combination of those flavours is quite different. You know, the way they work together in this whisky makes it fairly unique. I think there's, well, I suppose I was expecting more of a sort of a heat characteristic, more sugars and sweetness to come through, so I'm really pleasantly surprised by this, and it really is an interesting dram. In terms of cost, I think £45 isn't bad. It's a 12-year-old whisky. It comes from a country where they have high evaporation, so the amount of liquid left isn't isn't that much, but also the fact that it is an exclusive, isn't something that is sold in South Africa, and it's our first it's our first dive into 3 ships for Europe. So if this is the start of things that they can bring us, then I'm definitely interested to try some more. So yeah, definitely I'd like to try some more 3 ships, but probably only likely if they bring more to Europe. So if you like the sound of this, then why not check it out? Let's launch out.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.